Hey Dragon Slayers. So today's video is about how a lie keeps echoing through society long after it's been proven false. When researchers realized that what they had been publishing as truth in their studies is false, they don't issue a press release to apologize and ask everyone to forgive them for their error. They just stop repeating the lie and move on to the next thing. It's a huge non event. They don't want to admit publicly that they were wrong, and no one makes them, so they don't. For example, where are all the doctors pleading for forgiveness on bended knee because they told us for years that we shouldn't eat butter? They're nowhere to be found. They've already moved on to other medical topics while leaving the rest of us scratching our heads and confused about what happened. You'll never read a published retraction, a public apology, or even a good explanation about where they went wrong. You'll never receive a promise that they'll never do it again. They simply just move on, which is totally understandable because no one wants to admit that they were wrong. However, because the perpetrators of the lie are experts, they're causing harm by not correcting the lie. The lie continues to echo through society, sometimes for decades, continuing to harm or inconvenience patients. For example, even after researchers quietly backed away from the eggs are bad for you lie, it kept being repeated by the media and doctors for years. To this day, Dr. Barry still has the occasional patient who will argue with him that eggs are full of cholesterol and therefore are bad, so you shouldn't eat them. When when he tells them to stop eating cereal and milk for breakfast and to eat eggs instead, they look confused and mutter, "But I thought eggs were bad." This question makes Dr. Barry want to climb a few ivory towers and slap some experts. The researchers should have made as big of a deal, just as big of a press release of revealing to the world that their original conclusions about eggs were wrong, as they did when they made the original incorrect announcement. If the experts were searching for truth rather than recognition, they would have willingly advertised the change of opinion. Man, this fallacy really hits home for me as well. I mean, most people who were born past the 70s, the American Heart Association said for years that butter is bad and that you need to eat margarine and that you should switch to margarine because butter is bad. It's going to clog your arteries and give you a heart attack. And unfortunately, I know a lot of people over 60 who still believe this lie to this day. It is completely false. Butter will not give you a heart attack. If you're eating butter with your meat and vegetables, it's not going to give you a heart attack. And there are countless studies. If you don't believe me, please go look them up for yourself. There's no associated risk with eating any animal fat, any saturated fat, and heart attack. It just doesn't exist. Um, so I find it interesting that, that was never recanted. And there's so many people to this day that still believe that lie. Margarine is worse for your health than butter. Absolutely. It is absolutely, unequivocally worse for your health than butter. In the similar vein of eggs, people are scared of eating cholesterol because they think that it's going to raise their cholesterol. That is completely false. It's been disproven many, many, many times. Your body produces far more cholesterol than you could ever eat. So if you eat less cholesterol, your body will produce more. If you eat more cholesterol, your body will produce less. You do not get high cholesterol from eating too much cholesterol. It's impossible. So I'll go into this in further I've gone over it before, but there'll be other videos that explore this concept in more detail later. But that's what I've got for you guys today. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. And remember, guys, that together, you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.